How's it going, guys? This is QSP Knife. This is David, U.S. representative for QSP Knife. We're going to be bringing in Keanu. So he's the newest designer that we're working with. Has 3 different designs coming out as of April or August 1st. So that's going to be early in the morning. So if you want to stay up that late, 12:01 is when that's going to release. That's going to be for the Turtle Punk and also the Collie and also going to be the Ripley. So he'll go over some of the information as far as how those names came about. But if you have any questions, do leave that in the comment section. We'll try and get to that as well. But that's going to be this gentleman here. So you're going to see this one here. So that's going to be his information there. All the different things for a master's in business administration already. So that's where all these different companies he's worked with is Fox Booker, Best Tech, Kaiser, Tucson, Best Techman, which is the budget side of Best Tech as well. So those are all the cool little things there. So some of the designs that he has going on going to be some of these that's on his website. So you have the Booker, you have the Best Tech, you have the Tucsons, and these are not all of them. So you can have the other Tucson knife, Best Tech as well, and then one of the Fox knives. So check him out on some of those platforms. But he is here, so we're going to bring him in, and then we can talk about some other things going on, and then we'll get some more information as far as what really drives a lot of things that he has going on. So for the designs, there's Keanu there. So welcome to the live stream. So first time for QSP to do the live stream, and also first guest on, well, actually second live stream, first guest. So now welcome to be the first guest of the QSP YouTube side of things. And then hopefully we can get past that 1,000 subscriber so we can do live streams and everything else everywhere else. But let us know as far as anything else you want to talk about.
Wow, I didn't know I was honored to be the first guest in the live streams. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And David, it's so good to see you again. The last time we saw each other was at Blade Show, and
Yeah,
man, that was so much fun. That was the first time that I had attended a Blade Show. I had been
that's
waiting.
crazy.
I had been waiting, waiting for that opportunity, and then QSP offered it, and of course I jumped at it. So I had so much fun. It was an experience of a lifetime, and I can't wait to go to the next one with you. So hopefully, when is the next one?
Next one's going to be Blade West, so that's going to be in October. So beginning of October.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, so that's where, I mean, we normally go, at least for QSP side, we go to SHOT Show, and then we have Blade shows. So that's going to be the Texas, Utah, and Atlanta. And so we won an award for all 3 of them so far. So last year we got Texas for the fixed blade for the Bison, and then we had Utah. We had the Rhino, and then this year we actually won for a kitchen knife. So if you know, we had kitchen knives. We did have a kitchen knife win, the Kiritsuke for Blade Show in Atlanta. So we got 1 award for each state, and then we do have a local Oregon show that we go to. So if you have any other shows out there, we'll be glad to join in and actually join some of those shows as well.
Hopefully, one of our collaborations will get some love at one of these events and win an award. That would be pretty cool.
Indeed. Yeah. So now, for yourself, I mean, from having that master's in business administration and everything else, what kind of started you into doing knife design? Because you probably started in the hobby at some point and you're like, oh, well, I'll start designing knives.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think I've been a knife nerd for as long as I can remember. I certainly know that when I turned 18, when I could legally buy a knife, I ran out, got my first one. Of course, it was like some real cheap thing that,
Start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, right? A gas station knife, if you will. And I freaking love that thing, man. And then you buy another one, and it's never enough. You can always, there's never enough knives, right, David? So from that passion, I think I discovered that there are some people who were designing knives for a living. And at that point, I was like, I need to figure out how these people are doing that. And so I asked around the industry. I kind of took leaps of faith here and there. And, I actually even reached out to some leaders in the industry as well. Some I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, of course, but I reached out to some well-known people in the industry, and I was young at the time, and they told me, this is a saturated market. It's really tough to make a breakthrough here. Kind of deterring me from wanting to pursue this. But deep down, I felt that this is a place that I could belong, and I just wanted to. I just figured what do I have to lose? And so I gave it my all. I tried, and sure as heck, I started to see some success. And then from there, it just exploded. I wanted to see how many more I could do. And so I'm truly blessed to be in the position I am now, and working now with QSP is a great honor, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because then I mean that's where I think you have what 20 roughly designs out there. I guess have
Yeah.
you
Oh my
lost count
gosh.
yourself?
Yeah, I do have it tracked somewhere. I'm trying to think of how many on the market I have right now. I think it's about around there. 20, I think, are currently on the market. So,
Nice. Yeah, and then of
um,
course you're gonna have the queue of other things coming as well.
yeah, yeah. So excited, so pumped. It's been a blast, and I hope to be able to stay around for a long time.
Yeah, because I saw even George on Blade HQ saying that you're the up and coming guy. Watch out for Keanu. I saw in one of
Yeah,
the streams that he did, so that was pretty cool too to
yeah.
get
That
that
was
call
so
out.
out of left field. I mean, when I heard that, I just couldn't believe that he said that, and it's just truly an honor that, and to see hard work pay off is always something that I just love. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
just truly blessed.
Awesome. Yeah, so then we have a few different things that we're going to go through. So we're going to start off with some of the knives that he has available or coming available through us. So we're going to start off with going to be the first knife is going to be the one that we have for the Turtle Punk. So Turtle Punk is a pretty awesome one. It's one of my favorites that's coming out now for QSP, and then also not only the design but also for the ceramic coating that we're doing. If you hate like fingerprints on your stuff, that's really going to be where it goes now for that. And Turtle Punk, you have a Mohawk turtle. So I'll have him talk about a little bit more for this, but that's going to be where that kind of came from is this crazy looking turtle. So you're saying that some of them come from, he might have the idea at first, and then otherwise it comes up later. So we're going to kind of go through these items here. So we'll go down to the table here. So that's going to be a penguin, just for size comparison wise. And then we're going to go through like starting from the A1, A2. All these are going to be under $100. So you can check those out. But that's going to be the A1 and then the A2. So going to be over, so it's about a 3.5-inch blade. So if you're looking for something a little bit larger than the penguin, then you have these available in 14C 28N. So tell us a little bit about these knives as far as kind of where it came from. What was the idea behind this knife? Because it seems like this Tanto is kind of somewhat your style in a way, because I see it on some of the other models too.
Yeah, before I talk about the Turtle Punk, little side note, that penguin, that was the first time I picked one up at Blade Show, funny enough. And my goodness, if you haven't had an opportunity to pick one up, you should just buy one. I'm kind of still disappointed in myself that I don't have one. I'm
Yeah,
eyeing the titanium handled one with the
the
frag
frag pattern.
pattern.
Yeah,
Oh
oh
my
yeah.
gosh, love it, love it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
just
that one's
the
done very well for us.
oh,
So
so
as
good.
far as the penguin, I mean, that's kind of our breakout that we had. So I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
remembers when Mass Drop was still around. So Mass Drop is what I remember when we were kind of the breakout with the D2, the denim micarta. So that's one thing about QSP. We're like a lot of times we come out with like different materials before other people. So it seemed like we kind of broke out with that denim, and then we came out with like the kind of range up carbon fiber, and then the aluminum copper carbon fiber as well. So a lot of different things. Even the ceramic coated blade that we're talking about here. Just a lot of different things come out for the QSP side.
I totally get why it's an icon. I mean, that thing is just it's awesome. It's awesome. Anyway, you got me carried. I'm gonna before I get carried away about the that knife, the turtle punk. Yeah, so I kind of spent some time to because it's been a while. It's been a while. I don't know if people see what happens behind the scenes, but I designed this knife a while back, and so now it's hitting the market. So I had to think back a little bit about what went into this design. This one actually dated like the handle scale. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. It was a
So how'd that come
mistake.
about?
Well, I was trying to add certain texture. I love texture on a handle because I love user knives. I love knives that are functional first, and then if they look good while doing it, that's a plus. But I love functionality, utility in a knife, and so at trying to figure out different ways that you can add texture to a handle so it stays in your hand. I was trying to mess around with it, and then that's what you're looking at. It was the result. And so after I created that, I was like, it's kind of cool looking, kind of geometric, and it's kind of difficult to see what's going on with the coloration there. But like if you have a chance to look at it up close, you'll see these geometric patterns. Anyway, I saw the patterns and I said, you know what, that kind of looks like a turtle shell.
Definitely
And
does.
so the turtle shell in combination with the blade shape, I was like, okay, it's kind of a funky little looking turtle, right? And so from there, I started looking up funky turtles, right? Just kind of weird looking turtles. And I saw a bunch of different stuff. Ultimately, I found this cool looking little turtle from Australia is apparently where it's based out of. And it's got this really unique look. It's known for this moss mohawk. So it's got this moss on the top of its head, and it looks like a green mohawk. And so they refer to it as a punk turtle. And so from there, I was like, oh yeah, turtle punk. That's the name. And so
Nice.
that's kind of what I went with, and I think people are liking it.
Yeah, and definitely. And then I don't know if you can see it under there, but I put it under microscope side of things, so you can kind of see that reflection, the different shapes, the different patterns that are available on there. And then also you get the colors and the patterns within the G10 as well. So that's where you get a kind of double side of things. So you get the look of the G10 with that coloration. Also, you're going to get that playing with light when you actually handle it too. So yeah, if you haven't picked it up, that's where you're going to be able to feel that, see that. So it's just a little bit harder to get that kind of to come across, but definitely turtle shell like for this knife here. So it's a very cool setup.
Yeah, I got mine in hand as well. I just love the feeling of it in hand. It's got this, it just feels unlike, of course I'm a little biased, but it just feels like unlike anything else in the hand in terms of the handles. So I really love how it turned out.
Yeah, so if you go over to the website side, you can see the pricing, what's going to be available. So it's going to be coming soon. I have this little zoomed in a little bit on this, but you're going to see on the bottom side. And so it's going to start with the Turtle Punk. So $88 to about $94 roughly. So we're going to have the two different options. So the stonewash and then the ceramic. So $92 for the ceramic coated. And then you're going to have the stonewash blade for $88. So that's going to be that A1, A2. And then we're going to go on to that B1, B2. So it's going to be different coloration for these guys as well. So we're going to have B1. So this is going to have the B1, B2. So it's going to be this guy here. So you're going to have white, black type of G10. So also with that pattern, really goes along with that turtle name as well.
What's your favorite color variant, David?
Favorite one is probably going to be the green one for some reason. I don't have a lot of green knives. Yeah, the one that you have right there.
With the ceramic.
Yeah,
ceramic.
With the
you have to go
green.
ceramic, right?
Oh yeah, because one thing, I mean, you have like ceramic knives out there, but you don't have it too many in the EDC side of things. So that's something that's kind of nice to be able to have this type of blade in the EDC type of things. So that's where it's a textured one as well. So it's not going to be that really shiny type of ceramic coating. So if you see it even under here, so it's almost like a sandy beach type of thing. But you're also not going to be fingerprinting it. So that's one thing that's just awesome. I mean, I don't know if you guys get more as far as fingerprinting. I mean, it doesn't transfer. So just kind of nice setup.
Yeah, it's super cool. I've been playing with mine, trying to beat it up a little bit. Not too much because it's the only one I have for right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so cool, the ceramic coating.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be that B1, B2. Again, going to be available on the 1st of August. So it's going to be available on our site and dealers as well. So I do have these in stock in Salem, Oregon. So if you order directly from the website, it will be fulfilled from Salem. So we do have free shipping over $30. So most things on there are above that. So you'll have free shipping, which is really nice.
I don't think I talked about the blade shape. Should I talk a little bit about the blade shape, David, or are we moving on to the Collie? Okay.
No,
Blade
we still
shape.
have the C1, C2, so we'll have the green one coming up a little later.
Yeah, blade shape's interesting. I mean, for me, when I get to blade shape, I do like, again, utilitarian stuff. I like user blade shapes. Um, for my MBA, I always like to, my MBA experience, I like to look at, trends. I like to listen to customers. I like to look, talk to fans and things and get a feel of what kind of stuff they like. Tonto is interesting. I think people either love it or they hate it. And I do have quite a few Tontos out there. This one is a lot like slimmer in profile as opposed to some of the others that I have. And so it's kind of like a hybrid. Everything's like a hybrid blade shape nowadays.
Or something else, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, I personally didn't like a lot of the Tontos. I don't have very many of them.
Sure.
But it's kind of growing on me as far as like the utilitarianness of it. I mean, most times you're going to have 2 points to it. So granted, if you're going to sharpen it, you're basically like sharpening 2 blades. But when you get into boxes, I mean, you have that front tip, plus you're going to have that the puncturing side here. So it's like 2 blades in one.
My fiance, she has one of my designs, and it is a Tonto. And I just know for her, she just thinks it's so easy opening. You just drop that secondary point right into the box, slide it across, and you're done. And so, I think some people either love it or they hate it. So,
well, but it's something nice about. One thing nice about like I guess you talk about design and everything else. So one thing nice, like if you have that really polar feeling as far as I hate that knife or I love that knife, then really it's probably a good design. It's not just like the standard thing that's out there where everybody's like, oh well, that looks like this knife or that knife. It's like, well, yeah. So when you send somebody a knife and they go, oh, I hate that knife, it's like, okay, well, and then you hand somebody else and they go, oh, that's the one I've been looking for. Where's that been?
That's a good point.
So you get that really polarizing type of thing. So it's really nice to see that. So it might be like, well, it's my knife, and like you said, you hate it, but you also have the other side of people saying that they love it as well.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah, so that's going to be the B1, B2 for that one. And go ahead there, Keanu.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's about all I got on that one.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll do a quick showing on this one, then we'll move on to the other model. So this is going to be the C1, C2. So that's the green one that we're talking about for one of our preferences between the two of us. So that's going to be this guy here. So let's move to a different one. So building that up. So that's going to be the different one here. So this is the one that we're talking about as far as at least our favorite for it, that green with that ceramic coating. So it's really good for if you are going to use it for even food prep. I mean, you're not going to have metal shavings or anything else coming off into your food. And then it's going to be a non-stick surface. So that's kind of nice about that ceramic coating. But yeah, the first knives that we've had now with that coating. So we'll see about if they'll make it onto the other lineups or other products. It would be on one of the other Keanu's knives too.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yep. So that's going to be that one. So I'll let you talk about that one. So I'm going to go over to the Collie. I'll grab that one. So I'll put it over to your screen so you can kind of talk through as far as what you think about that one or what your plan was for that knife.
The turtle puck
for the Collie.
For the Collie.
For the next one.
Collie.
So I got to grab it from the ground here because I got a few over going here.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, the Collie. I do have one right here. So, oh my gosh, Well, this one was interesting. I remember the handle, this particular handle scale variant.
With the aluminum.
QSP ended up doing 2 different variants for me. Again, going back to the texture thing, I think I may have started with this one and felt that it's not quite as grippy as I'd like it to be. And so if you see, I don't have the other variant with me, but if we see the other variant, it's got kind of these cuts back and forth, almost like if you're going to tape like a handle, right? If you were to get some hockey tape or something and start to tape the handle, that was kind of the look and feel I wanted to go for. Something that's real, you get real good traction. And when I had the opportunity to talk to some customers at the show, another kind of divisive thing. Oh, no, some clients, they don't like it to be too grippy. Some people prefer it to be smoother. And so that's one thing that's nice about this one. this one right here is a little bit smoother. It's got some, texture in there. That certainly does help, as opposed to just a full smooth aluminum scale. Which I personally, I like to be able to hold on to the knife. I don't want to feel a fear of my hand sliding forward and cutting my fingers. And so that one right there with the red,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, so you can have this
the
pattern. So this is where you started from, and then so
yeah.
this was one that QSP recommended as far as this one goes, or were you saying?
No, I ended up presenting them both. So I presented
Okay.
both options to them. I just said, hey, here's a new design, and let me know what you think. And they said, wait, let's just run them both. And that was to my surprise. I didn't know that was going to be the case. And you don't know that that's going to be the case. You kind of just hope that they pick one of them. And sure enough, they did. And I love what they've done. I didn't know sometimes you don't know what, the company you collaborate with. It's a collaboration. And so
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that I do, and then there's a lot, of course, that QSP does. And so I'm so grateful that all the work that QSP and all my other my companies that I work with do. It's truly remarkable. But
Nice.
yeah, in terms of the handle, I love adding traction in my handles, and so I try to look at other things in the market, and I want to do something different. I want to present options that one are usable, two something that I think is unique, and so I felt when we created this, it was something that popped.
So where do you normally do the market research for that? Because I mean, you only can talk to so many people, and at least in my regular daily life, I don't run across people that carry knives. Even my wife doesn't carry a knife, so I'm trying to get to that point eventually. But I personally don't have a lot of people to talk to on a day-to-day basis. So where do you get your information as far as that research?
Well, again, I've been a knife nerd since I was 18, and so you're just always looking at the market, right? I mean, you're always searching for that knife. I think knife nerds like myself, we're looking for that perfect knife, and I don't think that perfect knife exists. And so through that searching, you start to see, oh man, I wish this one did this a little bit better. I wish this one did this a little bit better. And then you like start to envision this, perfect knife in your own mind. And then you try to go out and develop it. And so then I'll take that vision and I'll translate it over into CAD, and start to build it out. Yeah.
And so that's where you design everything, is the CAD side of things. Do you do Sketchpad or just go straight over to CAD?
It depends. Sometimes I'll like hand sketch it, and then I'll take that hand sketch and move it over. And then other times I just go right into CAD.
Nice. And
Sometimes
if I'm not mistaken, you that was a self-taught thing for
yeah.
CAD?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. So I watched YouTube videos on the basics and then built from that. And man, if I had showed you some of my earliest stuff, you'd be like, holy crap, how's this guy a knife
Yeah.
designer?
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of progress for things. I mean, which
yeah.
program did you start with? And I guess what are you using now?
Fusion 360 is
Mhm.
my tried and true since day one, and I still use it to this day.
Nice. And that's a good one to start with because it's a very powerful, very frustrating one. At least I tried to use it a little bit. And you can do a lot with it, but then like when I was trying to put a bevel on something, it took me forever, and going back to YouTube videos and like, how do you put a bevel on this, and like trying to get it all set up. So it's like it took a long time just to do it, and then it errors out because like you did something wrong, and it's just like, at least
Yes.
my experience with it.
Yes. Again, like I said, a lot of my designs came from mistakes, like the turtle punk that we talked about. Um, but in terms of the Collie here, I love traditional stuff too. So this blade shape's got more of that Bowie type of blade shape, which I love. Um, the you know that my the If you look at the tip on this knife, you might see this style of tip on a lot of my other designs, and I'll be straight up with everybody. This kind of was a mistake. Yeah, I think the first time I did this, it was on another knife of mine that's out there on the market, and it received great response, and people really love this tip. And so now I add it to certain knives. And
Yeah, so
so
that's your signature. So a mistake became your
yes,
signature.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
so with it being a mistake, like how did it go from mistake to go, hey, you should try and make this? Like how did that get presented to the manufacturer?
Well, I presented it was a mistake. I look at it and I say, well, you know what, that looks pretty cool actually, right? And
Oh, okay.
functionally, people kind of said like, well, yeah, it actually adds a little bit more reinforcement to the tip as well. And so, I've been I like to beat up my knives and test them out, and yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So because of the fact that it's been well received and people like the look, and because I'll tell you, I personally prefer the look, pristine without it. But it's just been now I have now it has a soft spot in my heart
No,
because
yeah.
other people love it. I've kind of jumped in, and
You've
now I
grown to
really
love your
appreciate.
mistake.
Yes, I exactly. I've truly grown to love my mistake, and so it's yeah, it's something that I am proud of now.
Nice. Yeah. So you can see kind of that grind for it. So not too much that you see on different knives, but it will thicken up as, I mean, the blade length or blade thickness is different. So you are going to have that thickness there too. But yeah, no, it's just going to be a nice one for you. So that's going to be these ones here. That's going to be the two that we have for A1, A2. So that's going to be different ones, all the way from 69. I think it was 69 to $78. So that's where you're going to have the coated one. It's going to be a little bit more for the 78, and then you're going to have that $69 range for that standard stonewash.
Yeah, this knife, it's got the kind of like two grip positions, if you will. That standard hammer grip, and then if you choke up with that choil, you can get more control on the blade. Um, Another kind of truth be told of mine is I don't personally really like choils. But I do know, I think, when I talk to clients, a lot of people like choils. And so I tried it out on this one. I said, you know what, it doesn't look that bad. I kind of like it. I kind of like the look. And being able to talk to people about this design at the show, they that's exactly what they said. They say, oh man, I love that one's got a nice choil, you can choke up. I don't really do this very much personally because, again, with me, I I don't like the idea of my hand slipping forward and then me cutting my finger, right? And so I prefer to be farther back when I'm making those cuts, and have um what do you call this? I'm blanking right now.
Yeah,
Just
kind of a guard.
having a hand guard. Yeah, exactly. Having like a guard there for your hand so you don't slip forward is more reassuring to me. But again, kind of a thing that I added as um, because it's something that I recognized people want it, so I added it. And I looked at it, and I think it turned out great. So
Nice. Yeah, and then Tim
Collie.
B went and put up, it's like some of your history on your knives in the chat here. You had a Boker, Bill and Ted, Fox, New Bowie, Boker, Boba, Boba, oh, Baba Yaga. So
Baba
that's like
Yaga.
the, yeah. So the Kubi and Neo, Kubi Master Chief goes back to probably what game is that?
Halo.
There's a, yeah,
Yes,
Halo. There you
yes.
go.
So I'm a
Yeah, and
huge.
then
I love movies. I love, and every time I meet somebody, they say Keanu Reeves, and I say no, not Keanu Reeves, not Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
And so as I was designing my knives, and after you need to come up with a name for it, I kind of think about, well, I like Keanu Reeves movies. A lot of them have been pretty good, and so maybe
Yeah.
there's a tie-in. And so I kind of took something that I don't know, some people joke about, or
Yeah.
kind of give me a little bit of a hard time for. And I took that and I said, well, why don't I lean into that a little bit more?
Well, it's
So
not a very
yes.
popular name. So, what was the kind of your parents' idea behind the name? Like, did they really love Keanu Reeves and they're like, hey, that's gonna be Keanu?
they they traveled to Hawaii a lot. They
Mm,
basically lived there, and so when they came back and they had a child, I was their firstborn. They brought back with them a Hawaiian name, and they gave me that Hawaiian name. Keanu was just a name that that resonated with them. It means cool breeze between the mountains. So
Nice.
it was just something that was, I suppose, sentimental to them. And there was a time where I got, yeah, like I said, people made give me a hard time for it and
Well, it's an
whatnot.
odd name
But
around here, because then,
it
like,
is.
I
It
mean,
is.
you don't have a lot of Keanus in
You
general,
don't.
and then
Yes.
you're
Yes.
gonna have that name, that Hawaiian name,
Yeah.
in California. Because were you always in California then?
Born and raised in San Diego. Yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
probably
So
die
yeah,
here.
probably. Yeah. Oh wow, there you go.
I'll probably die here unless my family picks up and leaves.
There
So,
you go.
but
Yeah. So yeah, not a very popular name also in San Diego area. So that's where you have Keanu. But
Keanu,
no, we have,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, so very cool stuff. And then we have the other one, so that's going to be going on the B1, or there's the C actually. There's a C. Oh, wait, so this one was D, so I'm a little out of order here. So there's a D, D1, D2 for this orange pattern, and then you're going to have the C1, C2, that's going to be the green, green and black. So you have that G10 overlay, and so we machine through it, so it's going to be CNC machined to get that pattern on it. So that's where you're going to have that top layer, and then you machine right through it to that bottom layer. So that's where you're going to have those multiple colors there.
What's your favorite variation here?
This one, I don't have a favorite on this one. I don't personally like the aluminum ones, just because, well, we don't have very many of them, but just that grip of it, and it's just a little bit too slick for me on that.
Slick, yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit slick for me personally. But for this one, I would probably say this one would probably be the orange. I don't have a lot of orange, but
Okay.
this is going to be one that really stands out. So it
Yeah.
kind of just draws more attention to it as far as this coloration.
For me, I'd probably have to pick the red handled with the ceramic. So that would be the one that I'd pick.
Yeah,
I
so
don't have a lot
basically,
of red
so it
handled.
goes along with that grip side of things. So it
And the
has that
grip.
grip that you want,
Yes,
and
I
then that
just love
ceramic.
being able to hold on to the handle of the knife. So
Yes.
that'd probably be my pick.
Yeah, it definitely does have a lot of grip for it. I haven't tried it in pocket too much, so let me check that out real quick. See if that. So it does have a little bit of.
I do think
there,
about
so
that. That's a good point, actually.
yeah,
The tearing
so
up
have
of
a
the
little bit of
pockets.
retention. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit of retention,
a
but
little
that's
bit of
kind of like,
retention.
yeah, that's going to be a thing that there's. So as you come across knife people, you will look at their pocket and go, yeah, they carry knives a lot.
Yeah,
Because
that's the telltale.
even if there's not a lot of grip to it, any knife that you carry, it's going to have that wear. It's going to have, your pockets are going to get beat up for it. So that's the only thing for those. But it's definitely something that's in use. It's going to be very grippy and something that you're going to be able to hold on to real well.
You know what? I would like to address that. I certainly think about that every time I design a knife. I know, hey, listen, a lot of us are putting this in our pocket and we're pulling it in and out of our pocket a lot. And so
Yep.
our pants are getting tore up. And so when I can, I like to think about the texture where, or lack thereof, right underneath the clip. Yeah. And so if you notice, a lot of my knives, I don't have texture underneath there. I think with that one, it does have a little bit, but with most of my knives, I'll either stop the texture there, or I'll definitely try to avoid where that pocket clip lands, because I try to think about that for the good of our pants.
Oh yeah.
So that, and then also lefty righty. I know I've heard a lot of comments from people out there saying, why doesn't Keanu think about lefties? Lefties, my message to you right now, I love all of you. Lefties, righties, I don't discriminate. I try to add, actually on every single design of mine, I will add lefty righty. So kind of throwing some of my companies under the bus. If there's a knife and it's only righty, it wasn't my decision. It was a team decision. Okay.
Well, and that's where this one, I mean, it's going to be nice, because then the button lock is kind of an ambidextrous type of thing. So whether you use your forefinger or your thumb, it is still an ambidextrous use. It doesn't really change the way that you do it. A lot of people that are lefties too, they get kind of used to the right side. I think the number is still wrong on it, because at least for me, I have 2 left-handed kids. So I think that whole 10% thing is kind of maybe when they, a long time ago, they used to strap your arm to your bodies to make you be a right-handed person. So
right.
I just think that number is like way off on it because there's probably way more left-handed folks around than they let on.
That is one thing that I love about button locks is I definitely, if you're a lefty and you say, oh, I don't know if I can do a button lock because the button's on the side that it would be for a righty. But I'm right-handed, but with your left hand, I mean, you press the button with your index finger instead. You know, it's pretty intuitive to be able to just, you know, pinch it and then let it fall. So, and I do believe it's a lot easier to open a button lock than, say, jumping ahead to this one, like a crossbar or glide lock.
Mhm.
I mean, with this one, you kind of got to get your, like if I'm trying to do it with my left hand, I have to like pinch it in a certain way. With this,
Yeah, because
with
you
a
don't have
button
the
lock.
grip of that pocket clip, and the pocket clip kind of allows you to pull back on it for some of the crossbar or glide locks.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point. So lefties or anyone in general, don't knock it till you try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, so that's gonna be the
there you
C1,
go.
C2. I'm gonna get back on track here. I think I went a little bit out of order. So the one that Keanu really liked is the A1, A2. So that's gonna be this red. So the dark red, and then you're gonna have the stonewash, and then also for that ceramic, that's gonna be the A1, A2. There we go. So those are guys there. But yeah, it's a nice setup to see, and then that's one thing that was nice about the show is being able to really talk with folks at the show, have them see the products, and hopefully it was really good for you to be able to talk to the people one-on-one, to be able to kind of get their input right away, because sometimes you won't hear about that. I mean, until like forums or like reviewers, but that's not the entire community.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was invaluable. I mean, I talked to a lot of people on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, definitely hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. I talked to a lot of people on Instagram and things like that. But be able to shake somebody's hand and take pictures with them, you know, that is priceless. So, but yeah, the one with the ceramic coating on the red on the black, and the with the, you know, black hardware, yeah. I think that one's clean.
Yeah, so it seems like
That one,
you have one favorite for each model so far.
if I had to pick one, yeah, that would probably be each.
Yeah.
It was between this one or, and I know kind of all black is kind of boring to me, but I really liked how the all black one turned out as well. So with the ceramic coating, black G10, yeah, that one was clean looking. So I'm a big fan of that
Yeah.
one too.
You probably heard the dog in the background, so
Oh,
bring her out. A little Scottish Terrier.
I love her.
Yep, her. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, so
beautiful.
little Scottish Terrier. So she's kind of whimpering in the background. So I was like, okay, I'll pick you up a little bit.
What's her name?
There's Emma. Yeah,
Hi,
we have Emma,
Emma.
and then we have a Chloe, which is kind of like a bigger mutt. But so that if you hear dogs in the background, any whimpering, anything else, that's one of them, if not the other one. So. And then so we're gonna have that one for the two. So this is gonna be, and then we have the B1, B2. So that's gonna be the black G10. So same type of pattern for it. So you're gonna have that same tape grip pattern, just gonna be on that black G10.
Yeah, that's the one that I also looked super clean. And the one with the ceramic coating. Oh yeah, awesome. And QSP calls it champagne ceramic.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's just cool.
Yeah, so there's that coloration on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, ceramics is something that you see. I mean, a lot on kitchen knives, or not a lot, but you do see it more so than EDC knives. But just this alone, I mean, just being able to handle your knife and not get like different fingerprints and everything on it is just a really nice thing to do. It's a nice addition. So I think we'll see how it does, but it's the first run that we had for the ceramic coating. So we'll see how it does, and then we'll kind of go from there. And I guess let me know, or let us know as far as what you guys think as far as that that coating, if you guys like it or not. That's that guy. And then we have the aluminum guys. So the aluminum ones are going to be the same setup. So it's going to be for the Collie. So you're going to have the green one with the stonewash, and you have the with the ceramic as well, and then you'll have the black aluminum. So there's going to be the other pattern. So the Collie has 2 patterns on it, and then I guess for the Collie, is it related to the martial arts, or is it something else?
Absolutely. So I'm of Filipino descent, and so I wanted to tie, the Filipino Kali martial art into a design. And while I would say that, if you talk to experts in that industry, I don't know that necessarily this would be, the ideal, but I think it's pretty close for a lot of their needs. I'm a big student of that martial art, and so and everyone comes from different angles, but at the end of the day, I think it could certainly serve in that purpose. But more than that, I wanted to give it a name that kind of tied to my heritage, and overall, I just love the look of the design, and I think the name is fitting.
Yeah, some type of meaning to have it be something that relates to you, as far as you said, the heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, I'm part Filipino as well. Don't have a lot of that type of heritage, but
Okay.
because I'm from Hawaii, so that's why I asked you if you're from Hawaii, because then you had Hawaiian host macadamia nuts when you brought over to the booth. But I was just like, so I'm from Oahu now myself. Now, so there's Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, and Filipino is my ethnicities. So that's went from Hawaii to Oregon, and that's kind of where that's been.
Yeah. So yeah, the Collie or Cali, depending on how you pronounce it, but Collie.
So what would be the proper pronunciation? Would it be?
Well, I say
Collie.
I say Collie. Yeah, but I'm not gonna judge you based on how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they mean. So I mean, that's like anything. If you're talking to somebody and they mispronounce something, it's like, if you know what they mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
So those are going to be those for that knife, and then we're going to roll on to the next one up is going to be the Ripley. So you can kind of talk about that one. So Ripley is going to be one that was based off of Aliens, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so this one is my favorite of the 3. I'd say, and it was close. It was close, but mostly because this will be my first like crossbar style lock. So with the glide lock, the Ripley will be my first crossbar style knife that's going to be out on the market. So happy with how this one turned out. Full size, and you can get a full grip on it, and being able to use the knife. It's got this huge belly on it. Like when you see it in person, it's got a lot more belly than you think, and it's almost like there's a recurve right around this area of the blade. Not so much, but there's so much belly here that it kind of cuts back around toward this part of the blade. So, and then of course the handle, right? With the handles, this was another one of those situations where I wanted to add traction to the handle, because I love traction in my knives, and I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to just do just regular cuts just to add texture that way. I wanted to try to put some type of flair there, and so I'm playing around with things and kind of looking at what looks cool, what do I think would be functional. Ultimately, I came up with those cuts on the handle. And then I take a step back and I look at it and I'm like, man, it kind of looks like Aliens. Like right away, I thought it kind of looks like Aliens. And I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise, the Predator franchise. I'm a big like horror film guy. I love the horror films, and there's a new Aliens movie coming out too, and so I'm definitely gonna be watching it. Yeah. So definitely going to be watching that. Definitely going to be carrying this in the pocket when I go, best believe. And so I'm just so pleased with how it turned out, and I love it. I haven't taken it out of my pocket since.
Nice. Yeah, so this is going to be one that doesn't have the ceramic coating. So this goes back to the titanium nitride coating. So that's what our black coating is titanium nitride. So that's what you're going to have on this one is going to be that black. We're going to have that standard stone wash. So that's one thing nice about this one too. The glide lock, one of the things, I know you can flick it out if you really wanted to, but one thing with a lot of the button locks or the crossbar locks is that like
You can
to
shake them
really
out.
flick it out. Yeah, so you can shake it out super easy. So especially in places that are a little bit more skittish about knives, they're like, well, you can't have it shake out. So
Hmm.
even going across the border into Canada, you have centrifugal knife, which is like spinning it, but for them, it's like they get it in their hand and they flick the thing. So it's inertia. But um, whatever the definition is, they try to flick it out or get it out there. So if it does that, then well, it doesn't pass. So that's
And
one of
they'll
the places
take
that
it.
probably had. Yeah. So probably one of the places that has the most knife collectors is probably the border at the Canadian border. So
Oh man, man, they're gonna have a field day. Man. Well, with this one, hopefully that
yeah. Yeah, it's
they
a little
they,
bit more
it won't
difficult to
end up
do.
in their
So that's
hands.
one thing that nice about it. So it doesn't necessarily have a detent because you're going to have the bar itself. So the bar and the spring is what actually causes that detent. But if you see right here, it kind of has that stop, and then it will drop down. So just with that lobe, just being able to change it up. So that lock's been around for a long time. A lot of people have their own iterations of it. Eventually, it will probably be called a crossbar lock. But right now, everybody has like a pinch lock, an axis lock, and ours is the glide lock. So eventually, it'll probably be like a line lock, frame lock. But until that time, it is different. So if you say, well, that's just another axis style lock, it's like, well, it is, but it isn't. So that's where it does have some changes to it to offer you a different use case scenario. We also have it in the Volt, which was our first one that we came out with the glide lock. So that's a nice one as well.
Yeah, in terms of that glide lock, again, this is one of those things that was a collaboration between myself and QSP. It's such a charming thing. I mean, I think when I first picked it up, you're like, wait, is it not as smooth as like a standard? Everybody knows the axis lock and all those other style of crossbar locks, and they are like super smooth, and you can just flick it out. And some people love that aspect of it. But there's something reassuring to know that like it's not coming out unless you want it to come out.
Yeah.
And so I've grown to love the action of it.
Yeah, and
It's
you still have the
something.
standard way to open it. I mean, if you really want to just pull down on it and flick it out, still available to you, but you just have that little bit of detent, a little bit of security for it, as you were talking
I
about.
also feel like there's something a little bit more fidgety about it. It's just slightly, again, maybe I'm a little biased, but I feel like it's a little bit more fidgety than some of the other options out there. So again, really well done. I love how it was executed. The mechanism, the fit finish, everything just knocked out of the park. But yeah, in terms of the design, it's pretty straightforward. Neutral grip. I know a lot of people like neutral grips. So neutral grip should fit a lot of different hands. Um, Shout out to one of my cousins. He and I geek over knives all the time. He's got big hands, and so he can't do small knives with small handles. JP, this one's got nice big handle for you, so I think this one would be one that you would like.
Yeah,
And
so good balance.
absolutely,
I mean, it works for
yeah, you
anybody
got a
that needs
lot
to
of
pick up
real
a knife.
estate there. Gloved hands, straight up, feels great. Nice hammer grip. You just lock right in. Um, and lightweight too. I don't know if because of how we did the line. That's another thing. I mean, I'm always conscious of weight. So whenever I try to design a knife, I want it to be the most useful. I want it to be the most utilitarian as it can be and still have a beautiful aesthetic to it. And I want it to be super lightweight. I want you to be able to put it in your pocket and not really think about it. And that way you always have it, when you need it. So I think they executed it really well. I think the liners go only about, a quarter of the way or so. And so that really reduces the weight. Most of it's G10. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
So
a
it's
big
almost a
knife.
1-to-1 because it's a 3.6 ounces roughly and a 3.5-inch blade. So that's something that's it's almost that ounce per inch. I know some people have that the idea as far as how it should be. So that's pretty much perfect there. It's 3.5-inch blade, 3.6 ounces, so that's pretty much that ounce per inch type of ratio for it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if I had to pick one out of the three, and it's tough because it's like picking your children, I would pick
I'll
this
go green and
one.
black. I
Yeah,
would go green and black. Is that green and
you
black
would
you got
go.
there?
Well, I'm sorry. In terms of the models, the three models that we have here,
Oh,
the
okay.
Turtle Pug, the Collie, and the Ripley, I would go with the Ripley. But if we're talking
Actually, I would go green stonewash. I think I would go this one for me.
you go that one, I would
Yeah.
actually go with this one. And this is the one that went home with me after the show.
Yeah, so that gray and the black.
Yep. This one right here seems the most like Ripley to me. They like if you watch like Aliens, I just like when you look at their the movie posters and things like that. It's like black. It's kind of got some bluish hues in there, and so that one just really feels like the movie to me. That the black on the gray. Is that what we're calling it? Gray.
Yeah,
Bluish
it's like
gray?
a gray. It's like a light blue type of thing, but I believe it's the box says, what does the box say? I think it says gray on it. Yeah, gray G10. So yeah, it's just looks very light blue. So if you can see the color coming through on that, but it's on the box will say gray.
Yeah, so this would be the one that would take right here.
Yeah, so between that, you can kind of see. So this is my choice for the Ripley. This Keanu's choice. So let's see who has better taste, I guess, and whoever sells more. We'll see which one goes better.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of a fun little thing there to see which one goes better. But that's going to be so. This guy's going to be the C1 for my choice, and then his is going to be the B2 for his
B2,
choice. So that's going to be that'll be the
everybody go get the
competition between
B2.
Yeah. So between the B2 and the C1, we'll see which one does better there. But yeah, that's my choice as far as for this model, as far as which one I would choose if I had to choose one.
Love it. Are you a big like movie person specifically? Do you watch like horror movies, Aliens?
I don't watch too many horror movies personally, so I have a pretty wide range of movies. Like Boondock Saints is like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh,
so I don't. Okay, so you know what it is at least. The second one was
classic.
Horrible. Oh, the second one was horrible.
Haven't seen the second one.
Great.
Good thing I haven't.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't recommend it. So if anything, so stay with the first one. Have that memory and don't touch the second one. So that might be my recommendation for that. Yeah, stay away from the second Boondock Saints. But I even have a lighter with like their prayer on it.
No way. That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So,
love it.
Yeah, but this is the other one. So it's going to be the black on black. So black hardware. You have that green and black for that pattern there too.
Yeah, the green's great too. Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of different movies. So yeah, horror movies and everything else, not too much. I don't know if it just runs in the family. Well, I guess were your parents and your family kind of always into that, or are you kind of the outlier?
I'm definitely the outlier.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm definitely the outlier, black sheep. Everybody goes this way, I go that way, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I don't know. I just love. I'm terrified of horror films. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm the guy that's like watching it like this, but I still love them. Still love them, especially around Halloween. Halloween's coming up, so
seasonal thing.
Yeah, it's super nostalgic. So
so now for anybody that's in the comments and everything else, so thanks for people being around. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll kind of move our attention over a little bit more to questions. If you want to ask Keanu or myself about things, anything else coming about, then we can do that as well. But we do have some comment. So also somebody likes Boondock Saints for a movie for Iowa, and also Aliens and Predator. So did you also know, like, for that in the Predator, that knitted vest, like I guess the guy that did the costume design almost got fired for it because they didn't want it on the costume, and then so there's like folklore as far as, well, that's what makes him invisible or something, but I guess there was a thing where he was told, do not put that on the costume, and then he did it anyway.
Really? That's another one of those behind the scene things. It's like it just kind of finds its way in. I haven't heard about it though.
Yeah. Yeah, so I heard that from like I saw like an interview of with that costume designer, and he was talking about that as far as almost getting fired for it. Yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah, so yeah, let us know, guys, as far as there's anything else for questions, concerns, other things you want to see. Maybe if there's a knife that Keanu hasn't designed yet, then you can kind of get on the forefront and ask him to design a certain style of knife. Might not work for the creative process, but maybe you'll just be kind of planning in there for later.
No, absolutely. I love that kind of stuff.
So what do you have? So large tattoo. Can you see the comments on your side, Keanu?
No, I can't. I
Okay,
cannot
so
see
you might,
them.
yeah, if you open up the YouTube side, so
Okay.
that's one thing would probably help, and you can kind of see some
Let
of
me
those.
do that. Let me open it up. Oh, I've got it somewhere.
Yeah, but we have another.
Stand by.
So for QSP, we're going to have probably, so we're sticking to probably about 4 to 5 models per quarter is kind of our plan schedule. Sometimes it changes a little bit. This one was a little bit delayed. It was supposed to be out now in July, and then came out August 1st. But then we have a few different models or variants coming out. Dolphin was a really nice one that I liked from the show. So that one has, we had a shell pattern. We had one with polycarbonate. So we might go with like a slip for that. This is my slip, but the Dolphin is one that I really like. That will be coming out as well. But let us know if there's anything else. Like what else do we have?
I see a
Dolphin
color.
release will be coming out.
I see a question from Titanium Justin. This is way up at the top.
Yeah, go for it.
QSP knife. Will there be other colors than red in that design? I'm not sure which one. I'm guessing we're talking about the Collie. That's the only one that has
yeah,
red,
so there'll
right?
be right now there's the black and the red for that type of pattern, for that grip pattern. And then somebody, it's a BEDC said that you'd love to see a Warncliffe from you, Keanu.
Warncliffe. Well,
Yeah.
stick around. There is something that is coming. So, yeah.
A little sneak peek there.
Yes.
Yeah. So what else? What other we have for questions? Yeah, if we did miss your question, do drop it down. So a lot of it we're just kind of talking about the models and different things coming about. So weren't staying up on the comments as well. So we'll do that better on later live streams. But we will get there. Glide Lock. So we did a question on Glide Lock Canary. That one is probably October for the Glide Lock Canary. We did have it at the show. We did sell the ones that we had. So that is probably scheduled for October for that one. So just going up the questions here. So I might have something else come about for questions too. What else do we got? So now, I guess for yourself, now for the design side, like with it starting with, I guess, what was the first knife that you designed and had produced?
The first knife that I designed.
Yeah, and had produced with somebody. So that was the first kind of that breakout. Oh, this is my absolute first one. That's probably on your wall somewhere.
It's one with a company called Tucson Knives. Yep. It's the TS390, a big honker with a big old Tonto blade shape. So definitely one of those polarizing knives. Some people have said it's like a rectangle in your pocket, so it's kind of funny. But again, one of those things that you just think, okay, I mean, there's no way, right? I mean, it's definitely going to be a polarizing one. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Sorry, what did you say?
What model was that for the Tucson?
That was the Tucson TS390.
390.
Yeah.
That's one thing. They don't come out with any names. Like everything's numbers.
Yeah. And I come up with a name for just little inside baseball. I come up with a name for every single knife design. And I try to be very intentional about the names that I pick and all that. So yeah, that one was I guess you could say the breakout design. I think it's still doing well today. So
Yeah, so still
yeah.
available for sale, but yeah, monster, like it's almost like it almost like broke off at the tip and you sharpen it out.
Right.
So yeah, so it's,
Yeah.
yeah, but still has that same type of design language as far as your mistake that you
Yeah.
started to love as far as that tip
Yeah,
goes as well.
exactly. It's got a recurve as well, so it's definitely a unique one, and definitely not everybody's cup of tea. But I think to your point earlier, that's kind of why people like it, and that's what I love
Yeah.
about this industry is everybody's got their own taste. Man, when I was talking to people at the show, it was just so cool to see. Like one person would say, "I hate choils," and the next person says, "Oh my god, I need that knife. I love choils. Choils is the best thing ever." So everyone
Oh
is
yeah, and
just
then there'd be like people are tired of flipper tabs. It's like, oh, I'll never buy a
flipper
flipper tab
tabs.
knife. It's like, and
Yeah.
then you have a knife come out. It's like, where's the flipper tab? It's like, well, this
Yes.
guy hated it. This guy loves it. It's like,
Yeah. You can't win. You cannot win. But that's
yeah,
what makes this industry beautiful. Is there's something out there for everybody, and that's what's so fun about searching for these things. Is you're just gonna keep searching and searching and trying things out. That's what's great about attending a trade show, even as a customer. I mean, you can walk around, pick things up, feel it, walk down to another booth, try another one out.
yeah.
Make sure you come back. I know I had a fan at the show. It was a really sad story. Had a kid who saw the Turtle Punk. Shout out to you, kid, if you're watching this. Like, it's going to be available August 1st, so you can still get one. But he saw the Turtle Punk. He said, "Turtles are my favorite animal of all
Oh
time."
no.
He's there with his family. He said, "Mom, I want that one." And I think his parents said, "No, let's go look around. Let's
Yeah,
make
we'll come
sure
back. We'll come
we'll
back.
come
Yeah.
back. We'll come back." There was only 4 of them, or there's a limited amount of them, right? So at that show that QSP was selling, needless to say, he comes back like the next day and they're all gone. And so broke my heart to see the kid, sad. But
Well,
again,
but you got a fan there, so you'll get a sale later on, and
yeah,
hopefully you'll get into
yes,
knives.
yes.
Now,
I hope
meanwhile in the desert, said how many when you pitch blades, how many designs do you send at a time?
when you pitch your blades, how many designs do you
Yeah,
send at
so
a
when you go
time?
to an OEM or something or some company, how many do you send them at a time? Say, hey, this is my portfolio, or you send one at a time?
Well, you have to be respectful of the other companies and understand how many they're open to reviewing at a time. Some companies they don't want to see a whole bunch of stuff at one time. Show me one thing, and let's go from there. And so it's good to ask questions. It's good to talk to people and figure out what they're comfortable with first, and then you can go from there. But to speak freely on the high end, I've sent everything that I have, and then on the low end, obviously, I'd send one thing at a time, and we go from there. So yeah.
I didn't get a backstory even for the QSP side. So for working with QSP, I guess what was that initial conversation, or who reached out to who on that one?
I reached out to them, and they were receptive right away. And oh man, I can't remember. It's been a while. I can't remember exactly what I sent them. I maybe have sent them like 6 things or
Yes.
something to that effect. And yeah, long story short, here we are with the Turtle Punk, Collie, and Ripley. And so yeah, it's just been so much fun working with
Yeah.
QSP, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, 3 models out there. And then for the Canary, they said, will there be more colors? Canary has a lot of colors for the Canary. Is it for the fixed blade or for the folder? Because the folder has a lot of colors for that one. So I'm not too sure which one we're missing out on. That was one of the questions that came up. So yeah, anything else for that? So let us know. Comments. My dog's whimpering at me, but anything else out there too. But those are the ones coming out. So now set your calendars for those for the release. So August 1st is going to be when we're going to be releasing those. I'll probably do a live stream. I'll probably stay up late with you guys if anybody wants to do that. I'll do a late night shift. I'll go and be there when it releases. start to pack up some of them and everything else, and we can probably do that. But that is coming out soon. So that's what, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Wednesday? I think it's Thursday. What day is it? So tomorrow,
Today's
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so it'll be
Thursday.
out Wednesday.
Wednesday? Thursday is the
No,
first.
yeah, so Thursday. So Wednesday night into Thursday. So that's going to be tomorrow night. It'll be that breaking point. So Thursday, early morning is when that's going to be available for you to purchase. So we do have some available here. Again, dealers will have it available for the models for what they ordered. So yeah, get on the site. You can order those, have it shipped out to you. And again, free shipping over $30 if you want to do the regular shipping. Otherwise, you can do priority. You can do priority signature, any other shipper that you'd like to use as well. What else we got? Also excited for the Ripley. So somebody excited for the Ripley on that one. What else we got here?
You have to remind me, David, which those were the two that are battling, so to speak. Right?
Oh yeah, the battling ones.
What the
Yeah,
C1 and the B2?
Yeah, so that would be this guy. Yeah, C1 is this one, and then yeah, B2 is going to be this guy. So so that is going to be some oil on it. So that's not a defect to the blade, but there's going to be the.
Hey, I think you're trying to throw this. You're adding oil on the blade.
There's something wrong with this one. You don't want this one. But that's going to be the battle for that one. See who comes out on top for this one. So this is going to be our choice for Ripley. Mine is going to be the one up here for the green with the stonewash, and then on the bottom side is Keanu's. So this is his favorite, that one. If you had to choose, so of course, like every one of them is his favorite for his children out there. But this is going to be the one that he would choose, and then this one I would choose. So let's see who's right. Let's see who has a better taste on that one.
Love it.
So any other questions? If not, then we're going to wrap it up. And so again, this has been great. And first time on live stream working with StreamYard. StreamYard is a great process or great program. I feel a lot of YouTubers use it as well, but it's done well for what we need it to do. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Yeah, let us know. Those are coming out. So 3 models. And then October we'll have Canary for the Glide Lock. Probably October also for the Dolphin. And then we'll kind of go forward there. I guess out of that, do you have anything else closing for yourself, Keanu, as far as anything else you want to talk about with folks?
No, this was super fun. Again, it's such an honor to be the first guest on the live stream. Have me back anytime. I want to do this again, certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody in the chat, everyone attending this. I hope you all had fun doing this. I certainly did.
Yeah, and then definitely leave comments. Go back through comments too. So now the video will be up later on for anybody that missed anything. And then we'll have that available for you folks. But last call for any of the questions or anything else. But thank you, Titanium Justin. Appreciate the comment. Iowa, My Journey EDC, John the engineer. I wonder if is that a career you're in, or mechanical engineering, or some other engineering. Robert, who I don't know how to pronounce the other one. Daylon. Sorry if I messed that up. Tactical Llama also in the comments. So thank you very much for that. BEDC. So if anybody wants to have their name read, leave a comment. Tim B is on here now, so he's helping out with some of the moderation, some of the links. So check out Keanu on Instagram, also for ours on Instagram, and then YouTube side. Let's get to 1,000 at least, so we can do some live streams and everything else. We do some giveaways. Right now we're at 984. Only 16 more to go. So if you have friends, family that wants to be involved in the community, wants to be able to see what's going on with QSP Knife, have them come over, have them subscribe, and then let me know as far as what other information you guys want to be covered for the QSP side as well. Because we have a lot of different models other than the penguin. We have a lot of penguins too, but we have a lot of other models too. So Jamie's on there, meanwhile, in the desert. Do you live in the desert meanwhile? Because that would make sense, but where is it, Arizona or Nevada? Iowa, AK, and Doozy? I don't know. You want to try that one?
No, I don't.
No?
You
Okay.
were the man. You were the man to try that.
Okay, very good. But thank you again, guys. We're going to end it out. So appreciate the time. Keanu, again, thank you for helping us with designs for the QSP side, being at the show in Atlanta. Did you say you're going to West in Utah? Is that correct?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see if I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm sorry I messed that up. So if you know how to pronounce it, then that's how it goes. But thank you again. Appreciate it. End the live. So second live, first guest. If you guys like to see this type of comments or type of content, let us know. We can get some other designers on there. Now we did have Jacob Lundquist from some of his designs. So a lot of it is in-house. So a lot of designs we do the hand sharpening and everything else for all the knives, anywhere from that $28 Parrot all the way up to the premium stuff is all hand sharpened. So that's one thing that's interesting and different with the QSP side of business. But let us know anything else. If not, we're going to end it. Thank you very much. Anything else, Keanu, before we end things? All right, appreciate
thanks,
it,
guys.
all right. Thank you very much.